Enhance 5719. Enhance 15 to 23. Give me a hard copy right there.
WTF! WTF!
Good evening, sir. Good evening, madam. Would you like a side order of anything pissing else in the world apart from some tag team wrestling on SmackDown Live? There wasn't one tag team match on last night's SmackDown Live. There wasn't 2 or 3. There was 4 whole tag team matches. And I was just thinking all about Teddy Long sitting down in his house to watch his favourite brand on WWE TV, seeing no less than 4 tag team matches taking place, hollering so hard he was a single Undertaker appearance away from erupting with the sex he produced, impregnating this guy and destroying his house in the process. Holla holla, ding dong. Yes, just like this week's Raw, the SmackDown Live after WrestleMania did not feel like a SmackDown Live after WrestleMania because it was just a series of tag team matches and not much else. It was pretty boring, underwhelming. WWE, please pull your finger out of your arsehole. I am Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com. I don't know where I am. It's But we kick things off with a sign, with that sign there reading, Brock Lesnar has a shrimp, and I'm not quite sure what that means. Either the Beast Incarnate is nothing but a really cool nickname, guys, overcompensating for a teeny tiny little willy, or Brock Lesnar actually does have a pet shrimp called Larry, who he loves dearly. I hope it's the latter. Member brand split and separate roster for Raw and SmackDown Live. Now I know we've got an international superstar shake-up coming up next week, and because we're wrestling fans who have never ever seen a superstar shake-up take place before, we need to be shown quite literally how a Raw superstar can end up on SmackDown Live and how a SmackDown Live superstar can end up on Raw this week. But appearances like that one there just felt like the inmates were running the asylum in WWE this week. We needed some law and order. The heavy hand of the law needed to come down, but it wasn't there. I miss the McMahons, I do. They wouldn't have let bollocks like this happen with no explanation whatsoever apart from Sheamus going, ha ha, we made ourselves a friend there on Raw. I don't miss the McMahons, but you know what I'm trying to say, don't you? But we've got to ask ourselves the question, why the hell is the Bar and Drew McIntyre's massive cake in WWE? Threesomes.
It's because 3 is the magic number, damn it! Grapefruit 1, grapefruit 2, jackhammer in the middle makes 3.
Alright then. But despite that wonderful explanation from Vince McMahon himself, yes, that was Vince McMahon himself, live via satellite feed, he is my best friend, I'm still getting League of Nations vibes from those 3 there, and I don't quite like it. And a massive big thank you goes to Dave Canning and Margaret for spreading the good name of Cultaholic for the second time in 3 days. Those 2 at WrestleMania, and they were at SmackDown Live last night, pulling double duty harder than the man is going to have to over the next little while with those 2 title belts around her waist and on her shoulders, okay? We've all heard the rumour and innuendo about why Vince McMahon called up Ricochet, Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano all the way back when. It's because he wants to build new stars, damn it! So then, Vince, let's continue to have them build as NXT superstars, so it gives off the impression us here in WWE, we're not quite sure if they're good enough to be bona fide main roster stars just yet. When will it end? Randy Orton, middle-aged and without a care in the world. So as we saw NXT TakeOver New York and at WrestleMania 35, fans in the crowd were blinded by stupid pissing lights shining right in their face. In response to that, Randy Orton, the cute little snake, he took his hand out of his tights, he shook everyone's hand metaphorically. We're all covered in cock juice as he apologised on the company's behalf. Before on last night's SmackDown Live, Randy appeared out of nowhere. He delivered an RKO to Ali out of nowhere before he got out the ring, walked up the ramp and pretended to be blinded by the lights that blinded the fans at TakeOver New York and at WrestleMania. And in that moment, he metaphorically grabbed the head of Kevin Dunn. He metaphorically grabbed the heads of each of the members of WWE's lighting team and he rubbed them right in his juicy crotch because they deserved it for putting those stupid lights in the fans' eyes. Well done, Randall. So next up we have R-Truth claiming that break we absolutely needed to have 7 hours into WrestleMania 35 because 7.5 hours, it wasn't enough for that show. We need to have a dance break, didn't we? Anyway, R-Truth claimed that dance break lasted for 7 seconds, and in that moment, he did what every single man does in every single walk of life. He overcompensated for something that didn't last too long. You know those moments in life, lads, when you're standing there trying to spin a basketball on your finger? I did it for 10 minutes, honestly. Or when you're having a game of Jenga by yourself, I went for half an hour, lads. It was riveting stuff. We've all been there, haven't we? But in that moment, of course, R-Truth proved that he can't be called R-Truth anymore. He should be called R-Lie. And then we have Carmella saying that this time last year she was winning the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, but that doesn't matter because this year she has a friend. And according to Carmella, she couldn't have won that Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania 35 on the kickoff show without that friend called R-Truth, who was nowhere to be seen during that Battle Royal. You did it without him, Carmella. Give yourself some more credit, man, woman. You clearly don't need him, you massive numpty. Made a grave mistake, Corey. So just like Aleister did on this week's Raw, Carmella predicted the future. Or The Undertaker and now Samoa Joe proved they actually played the part of Beetlejuice in the 1988 American fantasy comedy directed by Tim Burton, because they can both appear when their name is mentioned. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Carmella claims that after winning that Battle Royal at WrestleMania, she has big things in her future, and wouldn't you know it, a big Samoan man called Joe appeared. But then, for some reason, Corey Graves piped up to say the following: I don't think Carmella saw this in her future. She said big arrived. She did. So let me get this right now. Braun Strowman, who of course is a Raw superstar, the Red Show, he probably should have had the night off, but instead of doing that, he rocked up to SmackDown Live, attacked Samoa Joe, because presumably he wants that United States Championship that single-handedly ended the careers of my Bane Spirit animal Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now I know that Samoa Joe is starting to put some prestige back in the United States Championship, but how the hell can Braun Strowman look at that championship over the past few years and think, hey, I want that, unless of course he hates his job and doesn't want to work anymore? In that case, it would make sense. So in the 24 hours since Monday Night Raw aired, nobody in WWE, quite literally nobody at all, thought to check online and think, hey, let's have a look at the response to whatever the hell that thing is there, quite literally rearing its head from a cardboard box during Raw. It's called market research, WWE. Do some. You don't know what we want more than we know what we want. We are strong, independent, fully fulfilled people, no matter what Sami Zayn says. I'm not pathetic, man, Sami. Billy and Peyton, what are you doing? But more to the point, Pagey Wagey, what the hell are you doing looking lustfully at that screen while the bloody IIconics do the graps in the ring? What's that look on your face for? Do you fancy them or something? Tee-hee. And of course, another question has to be asked here, which could be construed as a WTF moment, is the fact that Paige is bringing a mystery tag team to next week's SmackDown Live to challenge the IIconics. But the question, of course, is who the hell could that be? And because I'm a hack, I've got an ironclad proof reason ting. Now, as we all know, Paige's theme kicks off with the lyric, further, further from the sky, whoa. And because Sky is there, Sky Pirates, that's who's coming next week. That is the bond that brings those two together. Aye, but it was also massively shy. That massive stat that Tom Phillips whapped out on the announce table on last night's SmackDown Live was actually true, and therefore it has to be a WTF moment. The last Falls Count Anywhere match to take place on the grandest stage, the more points at a WrestleMania before the best in the world, Shane McMahon, against The Miz on Sunday, was at WrestleMania 10, Macho Man against Crush. And that's hard to believe, isn't it? Now, from a legal standpoint, I can fully understand why Shane McMahon, who of course is the best professional wrestler in the world, would stand there on last night's SmackDown Live and claim George Miz gave him a black eye by smacking him upside the head, because believe me when I say I want it that way. No, believe me when I say that when you stand in court and say, but Judge, he hit me first, so that's why I shanked him right in the neck. That lets you off the hook. But just stand back for a second and imagine that you claim to be the best professional wrestler in the world. You are the son of that genetic jackhammer, Vince McMahon. You are the brother of Lady Balls and her castration knife, and your gimmick in WWE is the third hardest man in the company, behind that German announcer and behind Brock Lesnar. Imagine having all of that weighing down on your very sweaty shoulders and admitting in front of the world that a 68-year-old baked potato called George gave you a black eye. Shane will never be allowed round to his dad's again because of all of that shame his dad feels now. But good on George, a literal potato, throwing a potato right onto the face of another potato. Look at Sal when he saw the Hardy Boyz win the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships on last night's SmackDown Live, a WTF moment in itself because they're really old. But when Sal saw that go down, he was like, what the hell no? Hold on! That's a reference. But now it's time for this.
Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank.
Hello everybody and welcome to Wankety Wank. You know how it works by now and I don't know what day it is after watching 19 hours and 48 minutes of WWE programming since Sunday night. So when I saw Brody's tweet, I was like, aye, Alexa Bliss did do that, didn't she? How did I forget? It's because I've watched 19 minutes. Hours and 48 minutes of WWE programming since Sunday and I don't know my own name. So well done Brody, thanks for reminding me. All the best.
Yep, I wrong. Yep, I wrong.
This weekend has been the best weekend of Byron Saxton's career without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I don't know about you, but I reckon Byron Saxton will be doing very well indeed to produce a better call than he did during that WWE Championship match at WrestleMania on Sunday. But did anybody else find it strange that when Lars Sullivan appeared to attack the Hardy Boyz because they're really old and Lars Sullivan's a new legend killer, Byron was sat there going, I hope that man gets drafted to Raw. I don't want to watch him every single week on SmackDown Live. Now, I'd understand that perspective if you were in the ring wrestling your arse off every single week, Byron Saxton getting your arse handed to you time and time again by Lars Sullivan, but you're not. You're a commentator, and according to Maggle Cole, Lars Sullivan is or was the most sought after free agent in the wrestling world or something. Those are words that came out of Maggle's mouth, I'm sure. So surely then you should be frothing at the willy to have the hottest free agent in the history of free agents on your brand so you can commentate on his wonderful wrestling matches, should you not? Even if Byron, he, being Lars, is almost as ugly as I am. She did it again. She doesn't give a solitary hoot, boys and girls. For the second night in a row, Becky Lynch stood in the middle of Vince McMahon's ring during Vince McMahon's wrestling show on the television and she called herself Becky Two Belts. Just imagine what was happening backstage.
Linda, get me out of this trap, will you, so I can stop that pesky Irishman?
Vince's words, not mine. Yes, Big E, children are terrifying, aren't they? And finally, we end on some reassuring news. Now, a little while ago, Shane McMahon, who of course is the best professional wrestler in the world, revealed to the world that he has been keeping several of SmackDown Live's top superstars in a pit in his back garden, just under his second son's trampoline, in case you were wondering. When Sanity and Shelton and Primo appeared a few weeks ago, Shane explained why those men are never seen on TV. He keeps them as prisoners. However, there was one glaring omission from that basket of broken boys, and that was the better half of the colognes, Epico, leading the rumours, started by me and nobody else, that Shane McMahon, who of course is the best professional wrestler in the world, had killed him. However, an image has surfaced online proving that Epico is alive, as it seems to have been taken after that appearance from the basket of broken boys happened on SmackDown Live a few weeks ago. It's good to see him, isn't it? He does appear to be doing very well indeed, but underneath that WrestleMania 35 branded hoodie, it does look like Epico is wearing a blue jumpsuit, further fueling the rumours that Shane has been keeping these men as prisoners. I do hope they all make it out alive now, but that's it for the WTF moments from the SmackDown Live after WrestleMania 35, a SmackDown Live that followed in the same vein as the Raw after WrestleMania 35 in being absolutely pissing terrible, unless of course you're Teddy Long. I've been Ross from Cultaholic.com, and this has been your WrestleMania week here on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. Hasn't it been nice? Ta-da. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us